Bo, do you want to handle the?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Telegram 1883. I'm Bo Fowler.
I'm Stephen Long.
I want to welcome
And,
you guys aboard. We got a great show tonight. First of all, let's do some announcements. We've got a giveaway. Actually, we're going to have two giveaways tonight. We've got a 1883 and 4/6 merch. I think one of them is a T-shirt and the other one is a cup. I'm not quite sure tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock is trivia night. Better have those answers ready. We're going to have a lot of prizes to give away. We got some great guests coming on tonight.
Absolutely. And for you guys piling in right now, if you haven't seen our previous podcast, go ahead and go to Bo Fowler and my page, Stephen Austin Long, and get caught up with our past videos. We're just starting a series talking specifically right now about 1883 show. If you haven't seen it, there won't be any spoilers of what's to come, but we are going to talk about episodes that have already come. So do us a favor, watch those so you can participate, because this is mostly about audience participation.
Absolutely. In fact, speaking of audience participation, Stephen, let's see who all we got here tonight. Suzanne Queen, hello. Amber Prater Brown. Lisa Bodley is here. Hello, everyone.
Hey, if you're joining us, go ahead and tell us where you guys are coming from. And like I said, this is mostly about audience participation. So we're going to wait just a little bit longer before we bring in our first special guest for the evening.
Yes. Yeah. And if you have any questions that come to mind when we bring our guests on, please feel free to ask. Like Stephen said, this is audience participation.
Hey, Lisa.
Hello,
from
Jody
Galveston.
from Iowa.
Hey, Mark and Lisa, of course. Hey, how are you guys?
Yeah.
If you haven't watched our last couple podcasts, go ahead and do so. Lisa is actually the wife of one of our former guests, Paul. We did a great video with him, so we want to say thank you for that again. And Celia Gallegos, hey, how are you?
Good, right? Yeah, exactly. Rick Tackett coming from Texas. Rick, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. And for those of you guys who are joining in, we've got two special guests tonight. One of those being Sid Miller and the other being Clint Burgess. So we are very excited to get to talk to them about their experiences on the show. Hey, Renee, you watching us on YouTube?
Yeah, she's from Temecula, California.
Yeah.
Bob Sells, howdy, y'all. Howdy, Bob. We're just trying to give our audience a few times to get them some sweet tea and maybe some popcorn or something to get sit down and get tuned in before we start our show. Like Stephen said, we have two awesome guests, Sid Miller, Texas Ag Commissioner, and Clint Burgess, who is a retired constable of Texas. Two great guys. We're going to bring them on shortly. Kathy Huff, hello. Hi. Jim Estes.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, Pamela. Hi, guys. My first night here. Got invite from your guest tonight. Excellent. We are so happy you tuned in, and we hope you enjoy the show.
From Mansfield.
All righty. Here we go. We're going to Stephen, you ready to bring in Mr. Miller? This guy's a hoot, guys. All right. Please make welcome Texas Ag Commissioner, Mr. Sid Miller.
Howdy, gentlemen. Good to be with you this evening.
Hey,
Sid, how you doing?
I'm good. We got
so nice to see you.
Out.
Yeah.
I almost didn't recognize you.
Yeah, he looks a little different, folks. Sid was also a part of 1883. He was part of the Dones townspeople, and I'm telling you, it was just so exciting. Here we go. Sid, who are you with right there?
I think that's the Mr. Tim Mcgraw himself.
Oh, no kidding. That's pretty cool, huh?
It was a fun day. It was really fun being on the set and watching how all that's put together and all the professionalism. It was amazing to me. Never been a part of anything quite like that.
Now, Sid, you do RFD. You're affiliated with them, correct?
I have a weekly TV show on RFD TV. It's at 6 p.m. on Tuesday nights. It's called Texas Agriculture Matters, but it's not a movie set. It's set in contemporary time and it's just me kind of doing what we're doing now. All interviews, one-on-one, some producers try to showcase everything that's good about Texas.
Yeah. Now, for our viewers, because we're getting quite a few more people coming in, we've got our special guest here, Sid Miller, right now. And Sid, he does have a show on RFD, like he just stated, but he was actually part of 1883. So these are, two different beasts entirely. Here's a picture of him and our other guest, Clint. You're going to see him here in just a second. But Sid, you were talking about the differences there. What was one of the major differences that you noticed being on a show of this caliber?
Well, getting into costume is quite an ordeal. I'd never actually done that. This is what I'm wearing now is what I wear on my show. I just show up in my everyday, outfit with my hat, but I had to get a whole new wardrobe change, and then after I got all that on, here come the makeup people and got me all dirty. They dirtied me up, made my sunburned and put dirt on my hat. I'd never let them do that if it's my hat.
Well, I got to ask you, Sid. Now, when you went from your trailer from wardrobe over to makeup, and they was throwing that on there. I mean, what was your thought as afterwards? I mean, surely you looked at yourself in the mirror, right? I mean,
I thought, I hope I can get this off tonight when I get home. That's what.
That's right.
Hope this washes off.
I'm sure it was a very unique experience. Now, for our audience that's piling in, Sid, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Something that I think is very unique to Sid is that he is an 8th generation farm and rancher. And that just blows my mind. I mean, on so many levels. And I mean, to be affiliated with a project that's probably pretty close to home for you and some of your family members. I mean, what was that experience like for you?
That's why 1883 intrigues me so. It parallels the journey of my family coming to America in the Civil War. We came from Ireland, potato famine. We arrived in 1700 on the shores of Virginia, migrated to the South, became cotton farmers. After the Civil War, we lost everything, burnt out, crops destroyed. So we loaded up everything in a covered wagon and hitched the mules and the horses and came to Comanche County, Texas, in covered wagons, just like the Duttons are, trying to go to Montana or eventually, Oregon or eventually Montana. So it kind of parallels the history of my family. So I can kind of, when I see that and I see those scenes, it kind of puts me back to my roots, and I can kind of feel what my ancestors had to go through and the sacrifice and the turmoil and all the challenges that they faced.
That has to be a very surreal experience.
Right. Sid, I got a viewer here that has a question for you. It says, you're a recognized rodeo cowboy and hold world champion titles. When you watch 1883, do you enjoy not only seeing how they come to settle, but their roping riding skills, but knowing that is where some of the rodeo events derived?
Well, it is. I enjoy looking at that. I'm kind of a historian, particularly a Texas historian, particularly Western history, and I look at the tack. It's authentic. It's to the period of that time. All of the boots, the chaps, all the saddles, even down to the most minute detail. The guns, the way they wore them. It's all. It's good to see that somebody actually knows, what it was like back then, and can put all that together. And it's nice to see the cattle drive. They took the plastic ear tags out. They didn't leave stuff like that. And but
right,
it was
right, exactly.
a really good job putting that together. And to today, of course, we have much better equipment. Horses have improved, genetics on the cattle have improved, and we've got it a lot better than they had it then. But those people, they really wanted it to go through what they did.
Now, you were on the 4.6's ranch whenever you did your filming. Have you been on that ranch before? If not, what was that experience like? Or what was it like revisiting this time being, I guess you could say, an actor now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been 4.6's before, not in this capacity, obviously, but as the ag commissioner, as a horse breeder and horse owner, looking at their stallions. I have some of their horses in my broodmare band. So some of the same bloodlines that we share between myself and the 4.6's. So no, it wasn't a new place to me, but the experience was quite new.
Yeah, I bet. So what would be one of your highlights, I guess, of your experience there filming? I mean, what was just something that just caught you and you're like, wow? Did you have an awe moment, like a wow?
Well, the whole experience was kind of a wow moment because I'd never experienced anything like that. Somebody come up to me and said, "Well, have you been acting long?" I thought about it. I said, yeah, I've been a politician for almost 20 years. I mean, does that count?
I love that.
That's funny because when people ask me, how long you've been an actor, I always tell them since the day I was born, because if you really think about it, we're actors every day in everyday life. If we're talking to someone and we're wanting to get out of the conversation, we'll do some type of act just to get out of it. So we're all actors, in my opinion, to a degree,
Yeah.
So I try to play myself in my daily life, though.
Now, Sid, were you nervous to go on set at all?
You think you would be, but I really wasn't. I was more enamored and kind of in awe and just soaking it all in. Last week I talked in front of 80,000 people at the Trump rally in Conroe, and that didn't, I didn't get nervous or excited there. There was a time when I did, believe me, but I feel comfortable in front of a camera, I guess is what.
Now, any nerves meeting Sam Elliott? We just threw that picture up there.
I wasn't meeting Sam. He was just like some cowboy off the trail, or I'd meet the stockyards in Fort Worth, or behind the chutes at the rodeo. He was just very down to earth, nice, awesome. We had a nice long visit with Tim Mcgraw too, and some of the other cast members, and they didn't act like they were better than anybody else, or they were just glad to share their experiences and answer the questions.
Yeah, and I agree. Sure. When asked about Sam Elliott, I always tell everybody the first thing you meet with Sam is his hand, because most of the time he has his hand out to shake it before you even get to him. So yeah, absolutely. We are going to do a giveaway. We got time for one of those, Mr. Steven?
Go ahead, Bo. You go ahead and ask the question, and I will look for our viewership.
Let me see if I can get that on there.
For those of you guys who are new to us or that have been here, what we're going to do right now is a giveaway, and we got this special T-shirt up here, and this is audience participation. So we're going to ask you guys a question, and then you guys will have an opportunity. First one on both Bo Fowler and my page.
Yes.
Be sure to only use those as your answering platform, not personal pages. We're going to be monitoring those two pages, and the first person up, we will be sure to give that lovely T-shirt to. So, Bo, without further ado, question, sir.
All righty, now here we go. Trivia question number 1. When Elsa gave Sam a lock of her hair, what did Sam give Elsa? Say it again. Ooh. When Elsa gave Sam a lock of hair, what did Sam give Elsa?
Let's see. First one up here. Keep putting your responses in. Let's see here.
Oh, you guys got some good answers, but
yeah, we've got quite a few answers. Let me
right.
Teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Ooh, me.
Me. I want it. Yeah.
Let's see.
I want you guys to really think hard about this. All right.
Go ahead and ask the question again. I'm going to go through
I will
these
ask
right
the
here.
question again. When Elsa gave Sam a lock of hair, what did Sam give her in return?
You know, I see a lot of people that are saying knife and a book. Bo, is that correct?
No, a knife. A knife. The knife is what she won in the horse race.
You are
It was
absolutely
what
right.
she did. I'll give you big clue. It was what she did afterwards. There
Now
we
I
go.
do
We
see
got a
it.
winner.
I do see it, Amber. Yep.
You see it on the
You are
screen here?
correct. Amber, you said a straw horse, but it was actually a horse made of her hair.
Yes. Joe Standiford is who I have here.
Way to go, Joe.
All right, Joe.
And
PM
be
us
sure
your
to
address, and we will get this lovely T-shirt out to you as quick as we can.
absolutely. We have given away honey. We've given away hats. We've given away cups. You name it. We've got lots more prizes to go. Tomorrow we will actually be having a trivia contest as well, a trivia-based show. So if you haven't got an opportunity to win something yet, you'll have another opportunity today, and then some more opportunities tomorrow. So
Yeah, you got to tune in. We just got a whole truckload of stuff in. I mean, the sponsors, believe it or not, and our sponsors are wonderful. Thank you so much. But it's pouring in, so we're going to have a nice trivia night. We ready to bring in our next guest, Stephen?
I believe so. Well, Sid will holler at you here in just a minute.
Yes. We're going to put Mr. Sid in the green room. Sid, you sit tight, get a nice cold glass of tea. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. Welcome, please, Mr. Clint Burgess. Clint, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, glad to be here.
So we were actually just talking to Sid a little bit about who he is and his experience on the show. Clint, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got affiliated with the show.
Well, I mean, out of high school, I went in the Air Force and I flew on AWACS. I was basically a surveillance operator, kind of like an air traffic controller, and just really had an inspiration to go into law enforcement. So I went in law enforcement, sent myself through the police academy, and then about 6 years later, I ran for office and I became the elected constable in Arlington, Texas. And when I got elected, I was actually one of the youngest constables in the state of Texas. And so it was truly an honor to do that. And I was elected for about 16 years and just recently retired and get the opportunity to do some really awesome things now. So, and then as far as the set, a great friend of mine called me and was talking about it. And I immediately called Commissioner Miller and said, hey, I got us an opportunity here. And both of us, I think, were like kids because just really inspired by the show and everything about it. So
here we go. Here's a good pick.
We jumped on a plane from Houston and flew up to Lubbock and got out there.
And Clint, I love that you said that because I asked Clint if he was a little bit nervous to go and be a part of the show. And he said, no, not really. But honestly, that's the emotion that you guys portrayed. It was just excitement. And I think just being a part of this production, it would excite anybody, but it's like a childhood dream. I can imagine, to be affiliated with a project, especially so close to home and what's important to you guys.
It is, and I think the unique aspect of it is that, and I can remember one part of it where it's toward the end of the filming for the day, and it was the sun was coming down, it was getting dark, and I raised Texas Longhorn, and there's a part where they're moving some cattle down the hill. And everybody, all the actors, everybody around, they got excited about just seeing these cattle coming down the hill as if they were going, to the river. And I didn't think too much about it. I'm like, I got cattle, but the inspiration of that, seeing the sunset and seeing that, it really sets you back and puts you back there to feel the emotion of that. And it really kind of it really truly set me back. And you kind of you draw in deep into the scenario, and the whole everything that's done around there, the creation, it's fascinating the way they put it together. And I think that's the part when you realize where you're at. I can't believe I'm really here.
Now,
right.
Did this inspire you in any capacity? We've got a lot of viewers that don't really have experience in acting or entertainment realm. And I think a lot of our viewers are on the fence about, it being a part of any capacity with any project. I mean, what did this mean to you? Did it give you any sort of inspiration, anything you wanted to pursue, or?
As far as acting, I've never thought too much about that. As far as being a part of something that's as wonderful as this series and this show, that's something that you definitely want to move at. But since then, I've began writing, and I've had a vision of doing some stuff myself, and it's allowed me an opportunity to kind of start writing some things out that I got into horse racing here about a year ago, and I've got a great story about a horse, and it kind of ties the military into horse racing, and it just intertwines back and forth in a unique aspect. And this allowed me to kind of, hey, it's time to do this. Quit talking about it and just get it done. It's time to move forward. And so I think that looking back in the history of this is, where they said everything they have to go do this. They give up everything they have. And so many times we sit around wondering, or saying we're going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm, eventually down the road, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to lose weight come, January 1st. But this was something that really kind of made me, it's time to put up and shut up. Let's get going.
I love that, Clint. And it kind of it sounds like you're saying is it's a little bit of that pioneer spirit, which I think is so showcased so well, in this show. And
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
it's lead
Yes.
with your heart fully, and
there's so
kudos
much
to
to
you
it,
for doing
and
that.
oh, absolutely, and being there and seeing everything, and every actor, and I've told the commissioner and told some other people that to watch the people involved in the movie, they're excited, they love their parts, and they don't care if they have to do it 20 million times. They are going to have the same smile on their face, and they're going to do it exactly the same way every single time. And when you watch that, and you haven't been around that before, it gives you a different aspect, because I mean, everything on this set was so ethical, and you have to give Sheridan props for this, because the vision, and I've told people before that, and without really saying much about it, but episode 5 may be showing on television last night or so. Episode 6 is not even finished next week. And so, they're cutting and editing and doing all these things and having it ready within 1 week. It blows your mind. It's so fascinating how organized it is, that I've never seen anything like it. They've got a vehicle there that they can do all this editing from, and I would put it up against any movie, any blockbuster film, anything out there. It just blows your mind when you see it firsthand, what they're capable of doing. It's astonishing.
It was literally
ahead,
a
Bo.
moving circus. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you know this yourself. We would shoot a couple of scenes, a couple of takes on one scene here, and someone would say "moving the world," and that's literally what it looked like. Was they were moving the world.
I remember there's one part, and I think y'all showed a picture a while ago, where me and the commissioner are standing beside a track where they've got a camera. And I remember one part, one guy said, "Hey, watch it." And literally, I'm sitting there having a conversation with the commissioner. I turn back and look, and that camera and that track is gone, moved. And I'm not talking. I mean, I'm talking less than a minute. That thing was moved into a new place, and they're so fast. It's an a well-oiled machine. And you've got several producers out doing multiple scenes at one time. And you don't realize that there's 10 different cameras going off all over the place, and you don't know what you're in and what you've just done. Sometimes you're just done following your script, but it's just fascinating. It's really a cool thing.
It really is. Now, I did get to talk to Sid and ask him, you talk about just the wow factor of just the production quality. Sid had actually brought up an interesting point, is that he's, somewhat of a Texas historian, and he was looking at the bits and the costumes and just the attention to detail that they have just for every level. And I know you guys being down in that town, that had to be a wow. deal, just to see that attention to detail and that
Oh yeah.
movability. And I mean, that had to be, and I will say this, it's, being a part of this project, I think on the outside looking in, I don't know your experience or your feeling on this, but feel free to chime in. But a project of this scope can be so intimidating. Then once you're in it, it's almost like it energizes you, and it's like, anything is possible, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
a doability, and like you said, it's such an inspiration to be a part of
Well, and you
something that you're just like,
literally at
wow,
times you remove yourself from like that picture right there. You can see
yeah,
some people walking behind you in modern day clothing, but you get so entrenched in the moments that you kind of forget the reality there. And I tell you that the biggest treat for me was being there with Commissioner Miller, because he is such a historian, and he can sit there and explain so many things that you didn't pick up, and he's telling you about all these, the meaning of certain, did you know what this was? Picking up a can, or picking up just something. Did you? And so it just adds to it, and you just it's just mind blowing to be able to be involved in that.
Yes, it
And you know
is.
what? Speaking of Sid, let's go ahead and bring him in as well, because I think
Yes,
we're going to
let's
have
bring
quite a
Sid
few
back.
more Q&A. It looks like we've got a lot of people piling in with some questions for you guys. Hey, Sid, welcome back.
Good to have you back, Sid.
Yeah, good to be back. Good job, Clint.
Lynette Sheets, I'm going to holler real quick. Okay.
Yes, go ahead. So,
all right. Anybody
for
got any
those of you
questions for
joining
Sid
us,
and Clint? Please chime in.
please. This is a Q&A, and then we're going to have a giveaway. So those are the magic words typically. So here shortly, we're going to be giving away. Do we have a picture of what we're giving away?
Yes, we do. Here we go. We got this beautiful 1883 cup. Now, it wasn't made in 1883, I don't believe, but it'll still get the job done. This is going to be our next giveaway.
So here's a good question that we have for you guys. How do we protect the legacy of these early settlers as modern civilization inevitably encroaches on longstanding farmland?
That's a very good question.
Well, I'll start. The way we have to preserve our Western heritage, and I know not everybody on tonight is from Texas, but we do have a certain something about a Texan. They can say you can tell a Texan, right? You just can't tell us much. So, but that's part of the of being a Texan. We have that certain Western lifestyle, that certain heritage, family values, worth ethic, whatever you want to call it. So we have people that preserve that, and people like Red Steagall, and he keeps those ballads, the old country lines, the country poetry, and the ballads and the songs that the cowboys on the trail sang, and keeps those alive. Marty Robbins gone now, but he was another one that did that.
Absolutely.
One of these days, and I hope that day never comes, that we run out of those people that remind us about our heritage and Western lifestyle and that type of life. Because you're right, in Texas we lose one farm a week to urban sprawl, and they're coming. Just like the Indians saw the white man coming. The urban people are coming, and so I strive as part of my job is to preserve that Western heritage. Let the next generation know where their food comes from, how it's raised. And we work on that every day at the Department of Agriculture.
I love that. And for our new audience members that are just now joining us, we've got two special guests here. We've got Sid and Clint, and they both had an opportunity to be a part of the show. So if you're just now tuning in, be sure to rewatch this stream because they give great insight and detail on their experience with the show. Yeah. I love that,
Yeah,
Sid.
and they were a hoot to be
Why don't you go
around.
ahead and tell us a little bit about your show on RFD again?
Well, it comes on Tuesday nights at 6, and the format is similar. If you've ever watched Texas Country Report with Kelly and Bob Phillips, they just celebrated their 50 years. We're not near that good, but we go around Texas showcasing the best that Texas has to offer. Texas producers. We might do one on Texas Longhorns next week. Next week it might be Texas Shrimp. Next week it might be wine country in the hill country. And so we encompass everything, trying to let people know that Texas agriculture matters. So it's a fun show. This month we'll be filming our 6th season, and we're looking forward to that. I have a lot of fun with it.
Well, congratulations on that. And for our audience, be sure to support the show and our channels as well. If you haven't got an opportunity, go to our pages and like them so you're up to date on content. Bo, why don't we give a shout out to our sponsors?
Yeah, let's do that. Let me pull them up here real quick because we got a ton of them to thank.
Good deal. And bear with us.
Yeah.
We are going to have one more giveaway here shortly. So be sure to be next to your keyboard so you can be the first one to answer those questions for our lovely cup that we just threw up.
All righty, here we go. We got Brant beef jerky. I'm going to tell you something. If we'd had this beef jerky out there on the trail, we could have made it to Montana in just a week or so. Just some of the best beef jerky out there. RJLB Pictures. I got to tell them real quick. I did one of my first movies with Ryan Brandt, excellent director and really, really nice guy. Who else we got here? Here we go. 1883. We have Relove Leather. This gal, Kenitha Williams, she is just an awesome lady. She actually dresses me and my wife in all the latest leathers when we go out on the town. Broken Horse, custom creativity. This is Mark and Dory Horn out of Mesquite, Texas. They do custom designs on cups and everything else. So we want to give them a shout out. They're great people, and thank you for your love and your support. We're getting ready to ask that second question. Are we ready?
Bo, you go ahead and ask the question.
All righty, here we go. It's an easy one. What native tribe does Sam represent? Which is an easy one. What
And while
native
you guys
tribe?
are getting ready to answer that question, we just so you know, we will be posting all of the links for Sid's information to his TV show and to all the sponsorship. Go ahead and ask that question again, Bo. I'm sorry.
All right, here we go again. What native tribe does Sam represent?
Let's see.
We're going to see what we got here. We've got some good answers. No, it's not Apache.
Let's see. We've got quite a few.
All righty, here we go. Comanche is the correct answer. Amber, you win the lovely cup. Now, like I said, it wasn't made in 1888. It was probably made in 2021, but it'll still, there we go. It'll still hold that coffee, girl. Congratulations.
Yes, be sure to DM us, and we'll be sure to get that cup out to you ASAP. Sid, any comments that you guys would like to add that you didn't get to share about your experience on the show?
Well, I knew that it almost had to be a Comanche tribe because they rule the plains, right? Actually, they were the first agriculture department. They understood sustainability long before
That's right.
the land.
That's right.
So that's part of that Texas history.
See, I told you'll learn so much more with him around.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Sid, a quick question for you. Do you have any events coming up for our viewership so they can keep up to date with you?
What'd you say?
I said that do you have any special announcements, any events that are coming up with you so our viewership can keep up to date with what's going on with your life?
Oh, well, I've got campaign events from now till March 1st. But after that, I'll be at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I'll be in the calf roping down there. That's one of my favorite rodeos to go to. I'll be in the horse show. I've got some young horses I'm taking down there, and one I'm really excited about. My son won Fort Worth on her. We call her. Her mother was named Pearl, but her name is Minnie Pearl. So we're excited about her out on the circuit.
Good.
Now we do have another question. Do you guys have a favorite character on the show?
I was just getting ready to ask, but I want to know both of you guys' response to that. Sid, you go ahead and go first. Who's your favorite character?
I'll let Clint go first because I'm going to have to think.
I mean, Elsa. I would say, and I think it's just seeing, I guess it takes place with the narration and everything that goes around and her story, and I think it's pretty, trying, especially for a young woman, and in that time frame, and going through that cycle of life, and the emotions and things that have already happened to her. You try to figure out, and you're constantly trying to figure out, okay, is this foreshadowing something? Is this leading to something? And so I'm
Right.
always questioning and asking, certain people that, what do you think? But I think that's one. Of course, I mean, and then you think anything with Sam Elliott. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, you just kind of the aura of Western, television. I think that's probably one of the smartest things they could have done, is getting him involved in that. But anyway,
Right. I agree.
Likewise.
Sid?
Each show has a different one for me. Of course, Sam Elliott, Tim Mcgraw, they're the anchors of the show. They're the two main stars, and by right, they should be the favorite of everybody. But just like episode 6 that was on this week, the new cook kind of stole the show. He didn't get that much airtime, but boy, he was good. I mean, he was
James Jordan.
He was into it. I like that. So
Yeah.
that right there standing by Clint.
Yep, there he is right there. Really, really, really good guy. He's played in Mayor of Kingstown, Yellowstone, Wind River, and 1883. Yeah, you're right.
You guys might know him as Cookie.
Yeah, and then the episode 5 was LaMonica. He just kind of stole the show.
Yeah,
exactly.
I definitely see what you mean.
Exactly.
Episode to episode, somebody new, possibly even stealing the episode. But I really think it boils down to connection with the character, who has the most to say in that moment. Let's see if we got any more questions. Be sure, if you're just now joining in, to ask us some questions while we got these two great guys with us.
Yes. Lynette says, "You go, Clint."
Yep.
Lisa, he knew how to stay ahead of the storm. Absolutely.
Well, Rhonda, I know you're asking for more trivia. Be sure to join us tomorrow. We are going to have a trivia night with giveaways and just questions so you can answer. Yeah, Bo, do we have any more questions, or would we like to shout out the sponsorship one more time?
Oh, yeah. One more time on our sponsorships: RBJL Productions, Brett Beef Jerky, and Relove Leather, the Horns. I just drew a blank. I'll look them up right here. Just awesome people.
Yeah, Broken Horn Custom Creations.
There we go. That's it. Broken Horn.
Rims and Saddles Productions, and Prairie Gal Boutique.
Right. Yeah.
Now I have to brag on something. I have to brag on one thing though, because Commissioner is here. Commissioner, can you tell them how many world championships that you've made, and also your horses? Because this is a living legend, and I get excited listening to him, because as you're talking about all these transitions with Texas and this movie, and you got a living legend here, and he's being kind of modest and not talking about it, but it's inspirational when you hear about how many, what a real cowboy's done here.
Well, I have a breeding operation, so I've, bred, raised, broke, trained, and showed 21 homegrown world champions right off my place. So I don't think anybody else.
21.
And 4 different breeds: quarter horse, buckskin, American paint horse, and Appaloosa.
Wow. Yeah, you just covered everything, didn't you?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
And then rode himself and wins, just.
Yeah. Well, I just think this project is so interesting to be a part of. And Sid and Clint, actually, you hit the nail on the head. A living legend, and just an advocate for, the backbone of the country, which is, farm and ranch. So, Sid, thank you for all that you do for the community and for that way of life.
Thank you all
Yes.
all do, getting the message out and helping us tell the story of the American West. Beautiful,
Absolutely.
beautiful story.
Well, we just want to
Yes.
thank our viewership so much for tuning in with you guys and participating. We have a lot more to come. Be sure, if you haven't watched our prior videos, go ahead and go to either Bo or myself's page and give it a like so you're up to date and you can watch past episodes. One other announcement, Paramount Plus has a free month right now. So if you haven't got a chance to watch 1883, go ahead and sign up for that free month and watch 1883, get caught up. I believe we are on episode 7. There'll be another one released very soon. Be sure to do that. Bo, do we have anything else for our guest?
Get caught up on all the episodes. Trivia night is going to be crazy. Get caught up from episode 1 all the way to 7. Because we may be going all the way back to episode 1 for some of these trivia questions. We've tried to make them to where everyone can participate. Tomorrow night on trivia night is going to be a little bit tricky, so you got to pay attention. So we do again want to thank Sid and Clint for tuning in. You guys were awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. It was great talking to you both, and you're both just wonderful people. Thank you both.
Yes. Thank you, guys. And Clint, I cannot wait to read your story. It sounds exciting.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, guys, so much. Thank you, audience. And we will see you all very soon. Good night,
you, guys.
Good night, everybody.
When I say killing you means nothing to me, I mean it.
You do what you want. I'm heading west. I don't work for you. These folks here got to trust us.
Look who's blushing now.
If I see you again, I'm gonna kill you.